I know everyone's wondering what all this stuff is in front of you, so I'm going to go through each piece of equipment. I may or may not take it depending on what type of hike I'm going on. So we'll start from left to right, just follow the bouncing laser. Alright, right here on the left, we've got a pair of black diamond trail shock trekking poles. Next to that, USGI government issue sleeping mat. That's a closed foam. It's 24 inches wide and it's at least 72 inches long. Normally use that for PT. I normally use this to as just a backstop to prevent punctures from my air mattress, but I always bring a foam pad just to protect the air mattress that I actually sleep on. All right, next to that we've got a Gregory Tarn 36, which I use for day hikes or training. Next to that, Camelback Ambush 3.1 liter Camelback inside. Probably the best day pack, or if you're like base camping type bivouac style and you set up a base camp and then hike out from that when you're out in the mountains, this is a perfect day pack for that, and I'll do a separate review of that one too. Behind that, we've got a Gregory Z55 pack. That's my intermediate, medium-sized training pack, really. I'll do a separate review on that. Knives and saws, we have right here a Cold Steel Recon Scout, and attached to it is a Leatherman. I don't know which type, but it's a quick fix on there. Next to that, we've got the Saw Viver 18-inch folding saw, and then next to that is the Bar Heavy Bowie. Bar Heavy Bowie. I usually keep these as a system inside the pack. You'll see when I start packing the bags. But this Heavy Bowie loves to split wood. The wood just gives way. Okay, the other side of that is the Gregory Baltoro 70, the Venerable Baltoro 70. This year they came out with a Baltoro 75 and a 65, eliminating the 70. I don't know what happened with that, but yeah. All right, next to that, the Thermarest Ridge Rest. It's only 20 inches wide, and while it's a little bit more comfortable than the Army sleeping mat, I'll probably use the Army sleeping mat. They weigh about the same, and the sleeping mat, you're not going to roll off of it, but I use it for the same reason, just to add a little bit more cushion to the air pad that I use, so that the air pad doesn't get punctured. All right, down below here, we've got the Rei Radiant 20. It's heavy. Actually, it's not that heavy, but it was really cheap. I got it for $40 with my REI dividend and sale that was going on, so I snagged on it. I was in the market for a Marmot Pinnacle or something like that, but I mean, for $40 you can't beat it, and I do sweat in it. And the EN rating is actually 17 degrees for men. So it's actually, it seems to be a much higher value bag, so I went for it. All right, on top of this, we've got a Xped Sinmat 7. This is my air mattress. It has an internal air pump in it to inflate it, and I'm telling you, that thing inflates up to, it's like above 4 inches or something like that. Super, super thick, and the R value is 4.9. That's the R value, is the reflectance value. If you look at one of these trendy Thermarest Neo Airs, the R value is only 2.5. So this provides more heat reflectance from your body and more insulation from the ground. All right, next to that, we've got a big Agnes Seed House SL3 tent. Everyone knows that tents, the size is actually good for only one size less, or for two people less. So if there's a SL2 tent, it's really only good for one person. SL1 is probably comfortable, but not comfortable enough for you and your gear. So SL3 for two persons and their gear. All right, below that is the poles. Next to that is a big Agnes Copper Spur SL1. Love that tent, super light. Used it many times. And you'll notice that some of these bags are different. Like this is actually the bag for the Copper Spur tent, and this is the bag for the Exped Sinmat 7. But I folded the Exped differently, and the tent fits better in here than it does. So I just switch the bags however I see fit, but this is the actual tent pole bag right here for the Copper Spur. Next to that is the Venerable poncho liner. Always take a poncho liner with me. It's a good blanket, and I mean, have you ever tried to sleep in one of those emergency blankets? It just doesn't work. Okay, next to that is an Army Equius Gen 3 fleece jacket. You can check these out at www.adsinc.com, adsinc.com. It's made out of Polartec Thermal Pro material. It's Army issue, and it's the bomb. Next to that, one USGI poncho. I use it for all sorts of things, and I'll get into that later, but definitely a must-have in any kit. Okay, next to the poncho is a stuff sack with extra drawers, Under Armour type. I love the boxer briefs. An Equius level 1 base layer, that's a silk weight top and bottoms, and an extra pair of smart wool socks. Next to that, this little black pouch, I don't know if you can make it out, but it's a pair of REI rain pants. Next to that is a pair of REI Gaiters. Below that, here, I don't think the plastic is reflecting very well, but right here, this is a Nalgene 96-ounce canteen, one fuel canister. Right here, Msr Pocket Rocket. You saw that in my outdoor demo video. Msr Pocket Rocket right there. Okay, this right here is an open country 2-quart pot with lid. One of my main influences for outdoor stuff is Ray Mears, and while this can also work with the Pocket Rocket, one thing I did learn when I tried to use this pot system over here, the Pinnacle GSI Duelist, is that a lot of the plastic stuff, all this high-speed plastic stuff, likes to melt in real fire, where this, it will cook, and you can boil water in real fire if you're out of fuel canister, yuppie stove type stuff. So if you're actually going to cook with fire, you want to definitely get one of these type of pots. And for me, this makes my system just a little bit more flexible and not kind of yuppie-ish. How useful this is, though, with all of the integrated cups and stuff like that inside, this seems more flexible, and it's super duper light and super duper cheap. So this is a Wetterling's axe. Wetterling's axe. I forgot what type of axe, but it's only 20 inches long, and it's a backpacking axe. Bottom line, I was gonna get the super high value axe, but I forgot the name of the brand that Ray Mears actually uses, but that company bought Wetterling's, and so it's the same quality of axe, and it was a little bit cheaper. So I went with the Wetterling's, and it came super sharp and ready to go. So I really like that. All right, next to that, this is an MSR MiniWorks EX water filter. Next to that, a SteriPen Adventurer. In front of that, just a trowel from Walmart. As we continue down, we've got 100 feet of 550 paracord right here, 100 feet. We got a mini survival kit in this first aid pouch. It consists of a whistle, reflective mirror, and a fire steel. And then next to that, in the plastic bag here, we've got a bunch of dryer lint for tinder. These right here, some Hatch knee pads, tactical knee pads. I'm old, my knees are fragile, so when you're doing a lot of stuff on the ground, like splitting wood and all that kind of stuff, you really need something to protect your knees. All right, next to that is a Map and protractor. Then we've got a Teflon fork, an MRE spoon, a pair of black leather gloves with wool inserts. Black leather gloves with wool inserts. Next to that, a pair of Nomex gloves, aviator type gloves. Then next to that, we've got a sweatband for my wrist so I can wipe my brow off. Always bring that. A Fleece PT cap for cold weather. Underneath that, a neck gaiter. Again, all Army issue type stuff. We've got a chem light for signaling just in case. A Everany Energizer headlamp It's got 3 white light modes and a red light mode. It doesn't have a flashing mode, however. We've got some lithium spare batteries. In this little blue pouch here is a mosquito net for your head, a head mosquito net. Then here we've got a first aid kit, which has a bunch of stuff in there. Next to that is a Garmin Rhino 130 GPS unit. And then finally we have, as we talked about before, the Pinnacle Duelist, Pinnacle GSI Duelist, which again we saw in operation in the outdoor demo video, which is on my site there. Like I said, I've switched from this to the outdoor pot just because if I'm just going to boil water, I don't need all this stuff. I've never used the plastic cups and the bowls and stuff that go with this. I just normally boil water and pour it into my my dehydrated meal for Mountain House or whatever. So there you have it. And that is the gear.